Right, so we're coming back from our Scottish leg of the tour. It's January, what is it, the 16th now?
February.
Oh my god. It's been a long tour, folks. So it's February the 16th?
17th
God.
maybe? Who knows?
We don't know what day it is. We don't even know where we are. We're on the road somewhere coming back from Scotland, having done 5 gigs in a row, and I think a very successful run, not without its difficulties, but all pretty much foreseeable things. And I mean, what's your impression? What were your highlights, Steve?
Yeah, great sales, really enthusiastic crowds, load of sellouts. So we've been playing to packed houses, which is good. An interesting contrast between some of these standing vibey venues like the Voodoo Rooms in Edinburgh and what's the place in Dundee Church?
Dundee Church, yeah.
Yeah, and then the more comfortable surroundings of the
Stirling Toll Booth,
yeah.
And what was the other one?
East Kilbride
Village
yeah. Theatre, yeah. So an interesting combination and contrast of
what was our second? What was our second one after this? The Toll Booth?
That was Dundee. Oh, Ayr, and Ayr is the other one. The Joker in the Pack. Yeah, beautiful big place. With the first time we played with a huge pipe organ behind us. That was interesting. It's a shame Tony
awesome.
didn't get to play it for Afterglow or something. That
yeah.
quite nicely.
And it's nice to. I know we didn't fill out the Ayr Town Hall, but for our for our first visit to a place that we've never been before,
yeah.
to get, I think there was 170 or something like that in there, maybe more.
Well, there was more than that in the end, yeah.
And just lovely crowds. And last night, to me, I think might have been the highlight, because we capped it off in Edinburgh, the majestic city of Edinburgh, and it was probably too packed actually in that room. We had sold out, and it was interesting because before the gig there were people outside looking for touts to get tickets to our shows, so that was kind of a nice feeling.
The first GVT scalpers.
Yeah, and it was like they were a good crowd. They were enthusiastic is the right term, I would say,
yeah.
for you know, the Duke set. It's a challenging set. It's possibly the most challenging set we've played to play, but also from the listener's standpoint, it doesn't have all the hits that that Genesis did from the 80s onwards. It's still got some of a lot of the old long ones. So we scratched the prog heads itch, and we're not done yet. We still have 7 dates to go, I think.
Yeah, 7 dates of the Duke tour, which is going to be an emotional thing for us because we've been playing this material for a while, and the Duke set is kind of what it's all been building towards, and in a few months' time it's going to be all over.
Yeah.
And it's hard to see how we'd recreate the whole Duke tour again. We don't want to do it. So, and it's appropriate to do it in these sort of small theatres and close clubs, which is kind of what Genesis were doing. They were just readying themselves for to become a full world touring stadium rock band, which is of course what happened next.
So hopefully we're going to be touring the world now, probably not on the scale that Genesis did it, most likely, but it would be nice to get a little bit further afield, see some people in Europe, go to North America, and spread the word. So yeah, it was really nice, and it was the first time we as a band had ever gone out on 5 dates in a row. We'd done several 4-date runs, and we will be doing several more in the future. But yeah, 5 dates in a row when we're 8 hours away from home. Well, we were about 8 hours away from home, so we're spending a full day traveling to get back. But was it worth it?
Absolutely, yeah. A really enjoyable tour for all sorts of reasons. One, we get to stay with my good mother, so that's great.
Wonderful.
Thanks, Mum.
Yeah.
So we got a nice home to go back to, and there's always a couple of bottles of whiskey that a few of us can get stuck into for that. And can we talk about the catering for a minute, Mark?
Well, yes. So there were the natives were getting restless in the band because we had a repetitive rider that worked. It worked for a certain length of time, but when we started to get more shows in a row, I think people were getting a little bit, I guess you could say, they wanted a little bit more variety and possibly a little bit more home-cooked food. So Stu had the idea that we would do up some batch cooking, and bring it with us on the road. So just a whole host of things coalesced and synchronized for us to be able to bring our food. So we, Maggie, Stu's mum, had a cool box that we could bring the stuff to the venues with. And so what we did is we cooked up a big pot of chili, Stu did a curry and some roast potatoes. We brought rice with us, and we actually brought a microwave. So we have like a portable kitchen on the road. And how much better do you think that was than eating crisps and hummus?
Game changer, a game changer. Because like, you know, eating is a big part of life. Martin certainly agrees with that. And you know, when you know you can look forward, but there's a whole host of things. One, you're eating better food. Secondly, you know you've got to the venue. You don't have to then go out and look around for somewhere to go and eat and spend loads of money and traipse around in the freezing cold. You know you've got a choice, and choice is another big thing. A few things to choose from to eat. You're not eating the same thing every day, and it's warm food. And in the middle of February, warm food is a big part of it. So that was really nice. And it just means you're in a nice, relaxed, unstressed place to go and play the show, which is really cool. It gives you some energy.
And it was so successful. I mean, we didn't try and we didn't try and bring too much stuff, but even after we'd cooked all that stuff and brought it, I think we brought that to 4 of the 5 gigs. We still had a little bit left over, and in the end we saved money doing it. So we ate better, we had more variety, we had leftovers, and me and Stu both enjoy cooking, so it was a joy and a pleasure to be able to do that and provide that for the rest of the guys. Any other highlights for the trip?
Well, musical highlights. What's been our sort of musical?
Well, maybe we should do musical lowlights first, and then we'll talk about musical highlights.
Oh, this is always funny.
There were no musical lowlights. We played everything I don't
remember missing anything. The bloopers show reel. So where were the bloopers? East Kilbride, Tony's keyboard patch for the very beginning, or summer point in Motherload. Someone had given his keyboard a little bit of a tickle on the way past, and nothing.
So I'm calling for Mark. I'm like, Mark, turn up Tony's keys up. And Mark's like, what keys? There are none. I like my when I switched over sides so that you could sing vocals on Wardrobe.
Oh yeah.
It came time for me to play my A note. Nothing. I forgot to switch my patch over to the bass patch, so I had to run over by Stu, pretend like I knew what I was doing.
This is for those of you who've seen the show when we play Wardrobe and I sing BVs in the chorus. So Martin and I switch places, so we're not stood in front of our own pedal board, so we can't control our own stuff. So if we've got that wrong, then you know it's a long way back.
Yeah.
Was that Sterling that happened?
Yes. Was it Sterling?
Sterling or Dundee, one of the first two. Yeah, I had an East Kilbride moment. I don't know if anyone noticed it, which I called East Sterling when I did my half-time spiel. So sorry, East Kilbride. I think I might have done it twice. It is in Turn It On Again. I like to get to the front of the stage and mouth the words when people. Chris has given you the mic right, and you've got to sing back. Turn it on again. And I like to get to the front of the stage and sing it with them. I stepped over my helix to see if you noticed, Mark. Maybe you didn't. And as all I'm playing through that whole song pretty much is on one chord, and Tony's backing it up on the keys, and I stepped on the power lead to my helix, what we use to create our guitar sounds, and the thing came out. So I'm looking down and no lights, no power, so I've got to reach down and plug it back in and pretend to play as I watch the whole thing boot up from scratch.
I saw you step over it and then step over it again, and I was like, what is he doing over there? But I dare not look up. Turn It On Again is, I'm not gonna lie, it's not the most challenging riff to play. There are a lot of fast chord changes, but it never stops. There's not like 1 second where I can sort of look away from my guitar, because it's always changing hand positions as well. It's not like I'm in the one position the whole time. I have to like shift and shift, so I kind of can't really look up that much. But yeah, I do remember you fiddling around and stepping over it at one stage.
Yeah, it just goes to show how valuable my part in Turn It On Again is when no one notices when I'm completely off the mark. Even Mark was bopping away at the sound desk, convinced of the fact that I was missing.
He thought it sounded better. He was like, oh, why does the song sound?
I like the way you did that. Any other good bloopers?
Other bloopers. I'm just trying to think. There are always things always go wrong, and God bless you folks out there that say, "Oh yeah, great gig, perfect, not one wrong note." I don't think I've ever played a gig without getting a wrong note.
Nobody has.
Highlights. What were the highlights for you?
I love playing Duke's Travels and Duke's End.
I fell in love with it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. It's such a complex, weird, angular, unpredictable piece of music and arrangement and playing wise. So once you've got into the habit of playing it and you're just comfortable and you're not spending every bar thinking what the hell happens next, which is an intense 15 minutes of your life, and we can just enjoy playing it, all the changing grooves, feels and tempos, and there's loads of energy. And I know like 75% of the people in the audience are going, what the hell is this? Because a lot of them, will know the big hits really well and not so much that, but it is wicked. And you've got, for that 75% who don't know what it is, 25% are losing their shit over it and going, oh my God, they're playing Duke's Travels. So that's a lovely feeling, and it's very rewarding to play, really rewarding to play.
And would you say even the people that don't, that aren't familiar with it, they're still, they still enjoy the musicality of it and the musicianship that's involved to just pull it off, just to be able to play it.
I think they enjoy the journey of Duke's Travels really, because you can hear all the motifs and the Duke elements in it as well.
So for me, the reason why I like it now, and I used to absolutely dread playing it, is because I can actually play it better now, and I feel a little bit more comfortable. But it's a really challenging song to play, and for the bulk of the night, I'm on bass. I would say I'm on the bass for 60% plus of the time, and it's the one song that I get to play some solos and some noodly bits on it. So I really look forward to playing it. It's sort of like a combination of a little bit of like trepidation, but also some excitement towards it. And I have to use a synth sound on it as well, which is very unpredictable. So that's always, you never know what's going to come out of it. Did you hear some of those
a couple of the artifact moments.
They kind of work in that song. They kind of it kind of fits. Yeah,
and there's our favourite bit in the solo. Go and check out the album version and the original Genesis live versions, and then our version of the guitar solo in Duke's Travels. Because Mike's got to reach this high B, and it starts so low. You're thinking, no way he's going to make that B in the time. You go, and it's always a nice hairy moment of tension in the set.
I always know if I've done well if I hear Stu going woo behind us. Yeah, I made it.
It's a long way up, and you can't. This is the fun thing about playing Genesis. You can't just go, oh, it's easy. I play 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
No,
because you have to either play it as a 7 or a 9, or it's not going to sound like Genesis, and that's tricky. The only way to do it. You heard that.
Any other highlights?
Musical highlights. We had some good stagnation themes at the end of Wardrobe.
Oh, that was awesome last night. That was great. Yeah,
maybe Dundee did that as well, didn't they?
I think so, yeah. But last night was great. They did the na 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 na. We had that tambourine going. The whole crowd was singing along. That was lovely.
That's the bit we get to take our in-ear monitors out and hear the level of noise coming back from the crowd, which we can't really tell. But there's a few. We had similar to what I first noticed in Bristol, happened in Dundee, and again last night in Edinburgh. I'm calling the GVT punk rock gigs, where everyone's really visceral, taking their shirts off and giving it all this. I can hear them singing the verse to One for the Vine and the verse to Duchess, which is an amazing thing.
Yeah.
So we're really giving it all that.
That was great. And even though we've had some people have made comments saying about our. Basically, there was a little bit of a problem with in the cage. Technically, something went wrong with the keyboards again. But I really enjoyed consistently every night doing the cage. It really felt nice and powerful. We always had a great response after. Well, Duke's Travels, I think, was some of the best crowd responses we got.
Standing ovations to Duke's Travels. Yeah, crazy.
And in the cage, I think the old prog heads love In the Cage because it straddles the line between the it's obviously a Peter era song, but Collins certainly has some iconic performances of that tune. So.
But I've missed playing some of that stuff. I've missed playing Behind the Lines particularly, and I've missed playing Carpet Crawlers because people love that and they sing along with Carpet Crawlers. It's an emotional piece, and been some old favourites we've been able to resurrect that weren't in the hits and fan favourite set. So that's been, yeah. And we're just playing at a nice comfort level now when it's been a couple of months, and we're not really paying attention. Like, I'm not paying attention to the junction I need to be getting.
Oh yeah, come on.
But
we are driving. We are on the road here. This is live, folks.
Yeah, we're just on the M40, just turning off to get the M40 towards London. In case you're wondering, you're not. But
Another highlight for me was Chris's vocals all week were just top tier. I don't think I've ever heard him sing better. He was in prime shape, and performance-wise as well. He just let it all hang out. And that's not a reference to him getting his shirt off, by the way. He just left it all on the court, as they say in basketball. Do they say that in football as well? Left it all on the pitch?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. That's our sports references and analogies for everything. When it comes down to, yeah, no, Chris absolutely on bang on form and controlling himself, controlling his vocals to be able to do 5 dates in a row, because it's intense, isn't it? If you've seen Chris, he's a massively energetic performer, and he's completely exhausted at the end of every show.
But he never lets it show when he's on stage.
No.
Just, you'd never know.
Yeah, and he was managing that really, really well, and putting in those performances. And yeah, great. Jed stepping into the breach again.
It's worth mentioning Jed as well.
Russ isn't with us over this weekend, so picking up that baton and running with us. A great work from Jed on that. And
yeah, it's no small feat learning that entire set list as a depth. That's a tough job. Well done, Jed. And I guess we can round it up by just saying that it was really nice to have the support of all the Scottish fans up there. Pretty much made that a sellout. All the gigs, air notwithstanding, we had a few empty seats there, but we had more than we expected for our first time in there. So a big thanks to all of the support up in Scotland. I was really, really, really well appreciated. And a big thanks to David James Wilson for taking all those phenomenal pictures on his own time. I mean, the guy has shown a dedication to making sure that we get great shots, and all he asks for in return is credit, which is just, I mean, it's been a boon to us, because that's how a lot of people interact with us and see what we're up to and hear about what's going on. A lot of the times they look at the post and it'll be pictures from people that have shared on the shows. So if you've been to any of the shows over the stretch, or have been to see us at any point in the past, or looking forward to seeing us in the future, if you want to help out the band, the best thing you can do is just give us a little shout on social media and draw people's attention towards us, because that's the main name of the game right now, is just letting people know we're here. Anything else for signing off?
That's it. You see the sun's going down.
Adios, folks. Stan and Ollie signing off.